Good morning. 4:30 in the morning. You'll be in class in 4.5 hours. I'm still awake. Maybe it's just because I'm depressed. I'm sick and tired of this. I'm seriously tired of it. I don't know why God gave me depression or made me the way who I am. I'm kind of puzzled. I see all these other people around me. They're happy. I should be happy, but I'm not.
Yo, I have to cut out the intro. It's NO, that's NoNeedz. Back on the mic with new omniscience that I will recite. I'm the greatest, the most ebullient, good at bullying, gold like bullion. I make 98 billion every time I rhyme for the children. My size is like a trillion light years. My awareness actually extends further. I've been prepared for this kind of murder. Not a waitress or a server. One who deserves everything that has been earned. With my scholarship, the quality of it is what has turned around the apocalypse. With skin as chocolate, still omniscient, still with general ability to fulfill my obligations with all of their complications. My confidence is never wasted on topics that are quickly fading from interest. This energy is efficient the way I use it. I don't abuse it. I don't pretend I know something when I'm clueless. I got a whole research field for those who are stupid and try to use it to prevent original movement intellectually. It's like rape sexually. We need to become more impressive with this investigation of life. 10 to the negative 18 meters cubed in height, length, and width. That's smaller than the cells that are operated by them, which are like microns. I'm on the mic with quintillion L particles inside, oscillating to the sound particles to stop them as my voice keeps flowing. The de-intensification never knowing, ever growing from this improvisational gift that I got when I'm rocking the mic. Toxic stuff that'll make you nauseous as it switches directions, bending awareness. It's not really scary, it's just something that hasn't been documented very often. Probably because after 100 years you were supposed to stay in a coffin. But instead we're gonna continue on in this life. LIFE with sentient activity. Many of them actually. I am the actual one who discovered 100,000 energy bits per second gets processed by each particle of the soul. Quintillion to make the human body at its L body whole. I'm the one who found the gold. And we don't even live in San Francisco. I'm in San Diego, near Mexico. Habla español, usted, fresca, con fluencia, no independencia. No me preocupa, no me significa, es energía, La gravedad y densidad junto mayor puntos puntos mayores. Perdóname en français. Je suis là. Ici, je le suis. Que surpris. Quelque chose. Je sais tout. Parlez-vous, parlez-vous. La fenêtre. Le ciel. The sky. In Angleterre. In England is darker this day by the clouds without the atomic bombs from nuclear fission. Neutrons in collision because they don't process energy bits, kids. Now you learn that lesson. Protons and electrons process energy bits, positive and negative. Can you guess which? Like that old England Wiccan stuff. I could pick you up and drop you in some water with my gravity. You couldn't batter me. Too many casualties. You better bring in your cavalry. But stop horsing around. I got the force and it's more than a pound. Cause space matter energy bits all around. Better not clown. Ronald McDonald style. I'm in production of new tapes, freestyle, so great. The omniscience, you can relate to almost anything. Dimensionality, 3 dimensions to our reality. How we form, and the spatiality, the spaces that we just can't ignore as we fill up for logical reasons with our logicality. The spaces on the pages, traveling through many different ages. From epics to authorial intent, as if it never was, fractured like cracking the L body. With positionality, you can handle these things. Find the pieces and sequence them. Pieces of the soul. From transformity. So you can have better sociality and speak with those around you. Even when they try to clown you, you can stay within the circle of omniscience, where verbal progressions are causing all of the testing of your intelligence. And you can respond with elegance. Or you can show your personality because it's not a high priority. So you just leave and go on to things that are more emotional, with more feeling. You watch a movie about space, but it doesn't talk about self-population control, because it's not part of advanced civility. Humankind doesn't have that ability without listening to me, the NoNeedz, about self-PC in 60 billion years. That's billions with a B. Though, if you say a billion, you can put an A in front of it, and then it's sort of like a degrade. Well, some of it. I'm never plummeting. I'm the one who discovered it, the gravity. Actually, the actual one. So amazing, blazing, hotter than Cajun. Same old words, I just somehow rearranged them. The greatest, not the latest. The safest. with security. We can secure our dreams. I don't have a research field for purity, but my pure density is called arranging the energy bits inside of a small space, like photons that are traveling, and when they're empty they're falling. That's why the wavelength takes that sinusoid form in this void that's not really empty. It's filled with a whole bunch of energy. The vacuum of space is not empty. I think I've already said this about 1,000,000 times. Gotta find a different way to shine. Like Bad Boy. I think I was doing my primary research fields. What was the 10th? The 10th was, of course, polity. I would call it polity because that just sounds like higher quality. It means second by second measuring the way that we conduct a society with stations of hierarchies for our compulsory selves, our professions, and whether there's going to be a monarch or a president, whether there's going to be a senate or just legislators, whether there's going to be an executive branch or some other kind of system that can be politically run. I believe in the educational system running everything and selecting the candidates appropriately. That way they know about the sentient activities that are involved with the government, so you don't end up with a bunch of ugly faux pas. I already covered French. That's the evidence. And it is quite evident that to handle a society you need the proper knowledge. You need to know what happened in the past and what worked and what didn't. You need to build on this with diversity, with community, with originality, with the highest kind of logicality. You have to draft a constitution or a founding document. That's probably what it is. Get together with others who know about business, who know about politics, who know about mathematics and natural law, who know how to get all of these people involved. Don't think really small. As we travel in the vacuum of space, there's new planets to inhabit anyway, so you need to start thinking a little more expansive with your mind states. Use complex numbers. What's 23 really about? Michael Jordan's style and his jersey? Or the fact that we process 100,000 energy bits, 10 to the negative 23 meters cubed every second. That's 100th of a sextillionth of a meter cubed, the energy bits that we consume. Consider it. Don't be inconsiderate. Like you were illiterate. Yeah. I don't freestyle like an idiot. Yet I don't claim to be ripping it like a page when you're gripping it. A little different. My message is so intricate. And the mic looks like it's kind of clipping shit. Like pigeons. I guess I'll just talk about some ish that was once written. About self-population control. Did you know we're gonna have to build our own bodies with machines, and that someday we're not going to die and go to heaven. We'll stay on the earth, or we'll stay on the inhabitable planets that are not 1 trillion light years northward in the vacuum of space. We'll stay in the same environmental layer inside of the same place. When we'll die, we'll probably be carried like 50 feet to a body processing machine, which will build our body within a second. Then we'll have to pay some money, because everybody needs that. Otherwise, they're gonna end up in collections. This is 5 billion years in the future. I've already shown you how to go light speed by blasting photons 10 to the negative 24 meters cubed. Because photons are 1/10 of a quadrillionth of a meter in size. That's 10 to the negative 16 meters cubed, alright? Those are the light particles that I call CL particles, because they're complex. They arrange energy bits as they cycle each second with a whole lot of energy. That's why they illuminate. Yeah. But by blasting them, the lower density photons inside, processing smaller energy bits, will explode and collide. And that'll cause us to go the speed of light. Do you get it? 10 to the negative 24 meters cubed will be the size of the hole to blast the Cl22, which is a particle 10 to the negative 22 meters cubed. Do you get it, dude? I don't mean to be rude, but you blast a whole lot of those together and you could have light speed in a spaceship forever. We could find an inhabitable planet 1 million light years away. Within 8,000 years, we could live there and have communications across without even using spaceships. You do that 6 million times over 60 billion years, and you'll be prepared to make Big Bang pairs. Outside of the PLF, or your God's huge body of life, the Ale body, it's 10 trillion light years in length, width, and height. So it'll take 5 new Big Bang pairs just to get to one side. By the 6th, we'll be alright on our own, after we learn to fly to body processing machines on our own, without it carrying us like it does now to the lower density planets 1 trillion light years northward in the vacuum of space. Wow. Within a second. And that's what we've been calling heaven. But it's not really a present. It's just a little bit of effort. We gotta do it on our own. Yeah. Now that's really the Attack of the Clones, making new bodies for ourselves. So now you really know what it is. Those are the wars of the stars in our biz. After that, we need to find new Ale, another life form that's as big as this life form is, somewhere else, maybe quintillions of light years away or farther. That's when things get a little bit harder. There might be aliens that are the same age as us or older. They might find us first, and only because they're a little bit bolder. They might actually be younger than us and smarter. We really don't know. In a world that's so cold, we never ask ourselves these questions, like we never really cared to know what is really known. So your mind got blown. In 10 billion years, we'll move on to the next Big Bang pair. We can make those by using light particles, magnifying them and making smaller and smaller concentrations, like blasting ants. That's why we see that so much through signality. We're being spoken to by this large life form that can control the Ale bodies through our sentient activities. Check acriminalguy.wordpress.com for everything. I don't know if you'll even hear this. I might have been the dopest at freestyle and also at science, period. My cyclicity is gonna make you delirious, like Eddie Murphy. Most whack MCs are like, don't murder me on this microphone as I divert the scheme and subvert things. I call it bending awareness, changing directions so quickly that there's no way to keep up with it unless you knew the sentient activity, so you don't have to try so hard to delineate what's really going on as you try to sing along or rap along, as you try to paint along, as you try to run along, as you try to tap dance along, as you try to do the math along, as you try to act along, as you try to build the building along, as you try to tell a story along the way with somebody else, because you can bend as they bend, and you can lift with awareness as they lift, and you can do that with height of awareness, and you can move to the left and the right with awareness. That's called breadth of awareness. And also basicity, which is going deeper with things, meaning going lower and lower and lower, because you already know all there is to know about the sentient activity, whether it's tertiary or secondary or primary, whether we need it to survive or whether we're doing it just to feel alive. As ale, autonomous living energy that's 98 billion years old. The first Big Bang pair was 18 billion years ago, signified by the Jesus of Nazareth, TAS1, also known as the Christ. He was supposed to tell us that there were explosions in the sky at night. 18 billion years ago would have been hard to figure it out without knowing the size of the L particle, which is 10 to the negative 18 meters cubed. I already told you that. But with these complex numbers that the quinary studies intellectuals do, you can see why it all connects and why it's easier to protect our knowledge base so they don't call it base. Using basicity, we know there's so much complexity. The way that we arrange the logicality, the way that we position it with positionality, in space with spatiality, and using creativity, I surpassed your expectation with divinity. And all you really knew how to do was talk about the Trinity, because it's three, which means what? You're looking to the future, because your fate has been lowered. Like the halo, which I describe in L evolution for your maturation, with no adulteration, all purity. It never really occurred to me that I should lose. That would be a very stupid thing to do. No, just illogical. To fail would be stupid, because we all need to be a success, but we don't always need to win and be the best. If that makes any sense. I guess you could open up a field called sensitivity, but it's part of emotionality and personality. Maybe something about locality. I know for diversity, I'm gonna have other people add these things of different races for multiracial continuity, because continuity is important, like community, and sorting out things with objectivity. We use standard time best for that, which means documenting it somehow that preserves it for all time. Unless somebody burns the document like the Alexandria Library thousands of years ago when Caesar was in his prime and Cleopatra, before she got bit by the asp, and Zenobia, who was one of those blasts from the past. But enough about that, because there's also the planets discovered by India of heaven, the afterlife. Though they believed in reincarnation, it still spread with signality to China. Zhongguo,
no one was safe and no one could offer protection.
Wu Fei Wang, Zhongguo. Wo Ting, hip hop. Wo Ting rock. Wuhan Gaoxing. Dui Bu Chi. Han Hao, Ni Hao, anyhow. Wo Tsai Shui Zhong Gwen. I'm learning Chinese. I mix up my languages for diversity because it already occurred to me. I must always be learning things. Like the world is turning. See, that was one of my discoveries. I need to somehow reach out and tell all about these things. It's a large task, but it's within my grasp and everybody else at last. Like Etta James, I don't play games. I'm sure that I'd rather not go blind to the omniscience. It is as old as the Hans. Hun. As old as the number one. I believe in things like enlightenment, as I was saying, back to the original point. The signality that spread the two religions, Hindu and Buddhism, to China. Why was it this way? Because of the correctness. There are planets in heaven from a lower density Big Bang, and a Big Bang pair means there were two of them. So don't be scared. The afterlife is just the same. Lower density atoms with smaller energy bits that get displaced, and also smaller energy bits that make up our anatomic bodily structures. Yes. It doesn't get a little bit tougher, it gets easier. Because you mature, you grow older, you move a little bit faster with your intellectual activity as you become a master. Like finally figuring out what's gonna cure your cancer. By learning all the factors. Are viruses not alive? Have you checked with cyclicity? Or is that just jive? There are many things that could be changed about our understanding if we had the proper planning, with the right basicity, the right landing, like a scaffolding. Anyway, many say I'm the greatest when I rhyme, but how does one also shine? By using logicality, high priority, omniscient discourses, we can use them. Like, what haven't I already said? Did you know that electrons probably 10 to the negative 13 meters cubed? Which I call negativity, as they process energy bits, which are negative, uniquely. That's why they don't collide with each other. from the energy bit processing law, because they both need negative energy bits and there's just not enough. So that's what causes electricity, which I call negativity. No bluff. The same is true with protons. They process positive energy bits so they can't be so close. That's why they need those neutrons in there to keep them together real close. And electrons process negative energy bits to get them out of the way, so those positive energy bits can stay. That's why they work together in a 3-to-1 ratio for constant motion of the electron and particle spin. Satyendra Nath Bose, another Indian, who worked with Einstein, who I believe was Austrian. Don't quote me on that. I feel exactly like I should, exactly as I could. With moles of light and perhaps the energy formula that Einstein made, we could come up with spaceships that go the speed of light, okay? Using my energy bit processing law and the principles that are involved. Because photons, CL particles, process energy bits, which is why they'll explode like L particles, which are in our soul, and go the speed of light, which is how the PLF, or your God, carries us to the lower density planets when we die, because that life form is that size. But it doesn't really matter, because 98 billion years that it's been living is nothing. We'll live for quintillions of years, no bluffing, no discussion. Do you see how it won't matter? As we continue forward with our cycling, and though we can reverse cycle, it's only to fix what we've already done. There's no undoing it any other way. We'll get faster with transformity and be able to make different shapes with our body, with dimensionalities that are so much different, because we know so much more about our reality, how to process energy bits efficiently, which is what we'll do with direct camcorder targeting. L conversion process, making those energy bits life, or L, is what we'll have to do on our own. So we'll need to prevail against the natural forces. 10 billion years will be taught, like the Christ figures, which I call TAS, testing and analysis subjects, every 2,000 years. Only 25 million till self-population control if we're smart, and can do it in 60 billion years. That's 50 billion years in our future. And 10 billion more, and we'll create the 6 new Big Bang pair and be on our own. 7 in total, to call the LDL2 our home, and the HDEL2, higher density environmental layer 2, outside of the PLF, or your God's giant body. Flying to machines when we die, passing through gravitational fields, passing through houses unless we can avoid them, passing through hills, passing through pedestrians and airplanes and spaceships that are landing, passing through vehicles and traffic, passing through animals that are in the air, which we call birds, and microbes that are floating as well. We'll be passing through atoms that are causing water vapor called clouds. We'll be passing, hopefully not through the ground, though we probably could. We'll probably have to fly back outside of the inhabitable planet because we don't want to go to the core. That would cause us to have to process energy bits really weirdly, a very low density, 10 to the negative 23 meters cubed, which I call the 23-bit, with our AL-18s, the energy particles that we use for life. They process these tiny energy bits, and that's what's really going on inside. It's harder when we have to process energy and also operate the physical body. brainstem is 10 hertz, even of the ale body. Which means we have 10 options for cycling speed to do things and respond to stimuli in a three-dimensional way. Because supervision means that we can't really see what we're doing and what we're trying to say. That's 11 hertz to 16 hertz. Like trying to make judgments at the same time as we rhyme. That's why it's so surprising when I shine as a freestyler. I'm supervising the way that I do it, the style that you're hearing. Also the words with discourse management that I'm never fearing. And the space that I'm clearing to say new things. Beautiful things. It's better than talking about flashy rings and gems and playing pretend. I'm not lying like a den. My name is Ryan, and I'm peaceful like Zen. Once again, everybody should do as I said and study my practical rhetoric, my practical mathematics. That way we don't look savage. I've already been established. Some people are just trying to be the maddest. But of course the sentient activity that I'm actually doing is rhyming. So I guess you should learn a little bit about timing. There's also a trick called pacing, when you slow it down so people can better rate these rhymes and read between the lines. Uh-oh, did I surpass your expectations? I bet most of you won't even be surprised unless you lose track of the snare. Were you really prepared? Would you really even care? Should I share? Is it there? And is it there? Or the freaking kick. Kick. Some of those were snares. I'm so used to rhyming on it. I rock a microphone for a minute. When I'm shining, I'm still in it like a diamond. I'm harder than this when my timing is so surprising. Boom, boom, that. Boom, boom, that. Those booms are kicks. The la 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 ah. La 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 ah. La 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 ah. Plus the melody that's behind it. They're kind of colliding in harmony, real time with it, sort of like a society. It just repeated itself. I don't know. There's also the hi-hats. Tick, 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 tick. That's part of the pacing tricks. Plus the rhyming that is exquisite. With it, I'm so lifted, I'm gifted. I can split this like division. With it, I can become exquisite, artistic, and realistic at the same time. Superficial, like your cuticles, and trying to look beautiful with them. I am the greatest with my music. I could improve it in a second, each second, with my microphone presence, which is a term you could learn like a lesson. Step up to it. See, I was right there. You don't even have to ask where. My first rap name was Care Bear. I'm with 1,000-yard stare. I see the ghosts. That's how far I'll fly to my body processing machine when I die. 50 billion years in the future. On eco number 5,000,005. And it won't be jive. I'll go the speed of light on my first try. That's just how fly I am. Get it? I'm so amazing with these unwrittens. It's the code that I flow with. Always the dopest. So it's already known. Some people are unknown, like subjects. I'm up next. I must wreck anybody with my cyclicity. We could probably learn how to speed up the L body, so we could go light speed before we even reach the last ring of our existence with this idiot people have been calling a god, really a fraud. I'm so much smarter. I'm so much sharper. I'm the one who changed history, while all he does is talk about a martyr. Yeah. I'm a little bit larger with my state of mind. It's not just 10 trillion light years. It's like a quintillion light years with my STOs that I've documented on the earth. What has this life form done except for act like a jerk? What was that guy's name? Steve? I know it was Steve. He was one of the three amigos. With that other dude, Tom Short. Is that what his name was? Steve Martin, maybe? Was that what his name was? Like the C, Martin. C10, like silver. A little bit of signality. Instantly. With my cyclicity that's inimitably the greatest. Not just the latest. I think this beat already played. Shit. It's like it's on a playlist, repeated. My thoughts are the deepest. With basicity. All they can really do is use similarity and similarly rip it on this microphone. But it won't quite be as exquisite as I am with this microphone in my home. I can cough and for a minute leave it alone and come back like I own the style of mine. It's a lifestyle of mine, like a car, which is signality, because I can do it to the beat of my heart. Because I'm super smart and I can communicate in 3 seconds. The three amigos are each cycle that I have mic presence like I'm gifted with words and terms and vocabulary that's not quite absurd but rather well earned and deserved. I was talking about unknown things like a perp, the unsub. There's no subject that's unknown to this intellect. My accuracy with my accurate twos, I defend against idiots. We're always simplistic and using sand traps and that other one that I can't remember that's lower my halo and my intelligence, my suggestions and warnings that allow me to conduct bodily and mentally processes. I can't remember. Oh no. It had to do with the halo, but not the present operator at 16 hertz. Gosh, that means going 16th of a second, each 16th of a second, doing the activity. But really, see, it's just energy being processed 16 times each second correctly by the whole body. I mean, by the whole mind. That does supervision over the body all the time. With supervision processes 11 to 16 hertz. But those kind of hurt with intensification. You need de-intensification or you lose your placement. With the 1 hertz track, the standard operator, which will speed up and cause you to become sick as you run out of energy and get tired. But for some reason, I was talking about the halo, but not when it's on fire and processing energy bits, when it's doing it with omniscience. Son of a bitch. It's kind of like an itch or a glitch, and I'm not gonna change my pitch. It was oh, when it gets lowered, not by a sand trap, but another kind of attack. Not when it's forceful, when it's requested. The idiot, sinking idiot. When they ask you to be on some simple shit. My recollection is the best. I call it the remembering self because of the convenient arrangement of charges that allows me to process all these processes while also using recollection. It's a feature of our ill body, the memory saver and the memory retriever of the construction tool that we need to keep accessing to surpass expectations. That way you don't lose your patience when I'm talking, and I don't lose my station. Literally or figuratively with the wordplay, it doesn't really matter. I don't really play around with matter. I use complex energy as a term that I made up myself. That's not a pun by saying myself, it's just the self-reflexive. When you want to be emphatic, it's also called an emphatic appositive. The appositive must be some sort of signality with vocality, but I don't have the time to do it on the spot. On the spot. Now there's another signality for matrix particle, where life originated. That's why we use the word spot a lot, and why so many things rhyme with spot. You see, the vocabulary gets easy. You can do it within a second. On your mark. On the spot. I was in that spot. Can you spot the mark? Like polka dots. There's so many spots. I called my dog Spot. Spot, dog, dog. You flip it around, it's God. Spot, Spotty. Uh-oh. And here's another one. Scotty. It means free. Scot-free. Scott with a C. As in C, spot. But you didn't, so you'll call it Scott. That's called vocality on the spot. To repeat myself a lot. A speedboat is a yacht. But when it's from a distance, we would say it's like a speck or a spot. Put it together, what do you get? Spock. An intelligent alien life form that you talk about a lot. Anyway, as you see, wordplay doesn't impress me, the NoNeedz, the greatest at logicality, with omniscient discourses that you mixed with complexity. Don't frisk me or my intelligence, ye be a little crazy. Yes. There's nothing in this world that's gonna save we except for sentient activity. Talk about creativity. Talk about real mental agility. 6 billion years in the future, we'll be living on Earth and also being returned. Hopefully with body processing machines rather than going to the planets in heaven. We've got to live down here in the higher density environment for 45 billion years in the same body anatomically. So without going to heaven, we'll be on the Earth and seeing what's going on with communications that go 1 trillion light years to the lower density environments. There will be new Big Bang pairs and we'll be communicating between them 1 trillion light years. That way we can hear and see everything that's going on between. And there will be environmental loading docks for spaceships. If we want to change our density, we can become lower density without actually dying. We'll just change bodies when we're going to go to the lower density environment 20 billion light years away. Changing the body by taking a pill or something. And then by going the rest of the way in a lower density spaceship to the lower density environment. That used to be called heaven, but now it's called the LDEL, lower density environmental layer. And there will be several Big Bang pairs to choose from. Except depending on your age, you might have to stay in the same place, the same, what I call a domain. Created by the Big Bang pair 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or 6. But by Big Bang pair 7, by domain 7, we'll be on our own without the lower density life form called the PLF, primary life form, or rather primitive life form, which I call parasitic life form, or piece of shit life form. That guy, he won't be around. It won't be around. Excuse me. We won't have to hear its sounds with our thoughts as it tries to toy around a lot. It'll be all us doing the ale conversion process, the ACP. Imagine that. Without this crack addict trying to talk smack. Yeah. Without it trying to kill us and film us with its indirect camcorder targeting, which I call transformity and splicing. It adds onto our ale body the 1 Hz track and copies us, recording what we're doing so it can do what we do, as it tries to fix our ACPs as we digest food every second, telling us to process energy bits to help it do this, building our ale bodies toward flight with transformity so we can fly through the night sky whenever we die, or even during the daytime, eventually on our own, without it transporting us to heaven, without it transporting us to a body processing machine in about 5 billion years when we can actually make them, when we actually create them. So we're not like just some ape men 5 million years since we were that. Great apes, yes, but where does the greatness begin to become awesomeness? With experience. I was the illest here, period. I'll take a break for a drink. Among many other things, I was better than a king of kings. A scientist remembered as the one who discovered the origin of life and all of that sentient activity. Also existential activity, processing energy bits by neutrons and protons and electrons. Psych! Neutrons don't process energy bits, that's why they collide and cause neutron bombs to explode and blow up in the sky. But photons process energy bits, that's why we can go the speed of light by causing them to collide with laser beams. That's what a really good laser would really be. It goes on into eternity. I don't think I ever fully explained how we make Big Bangs. We blast with these lasers tiny holes that need to be a certain size and a certain magnification. If you make it 10 to the negative 14 meters cubed, you can make another Big Bang with a lower density in the LDL 1 or 2. If you do it at 10 to the negative 8 meters cubed, you can do a higher density Big Bang and explode apart the energy part of that makes a higher density environmental layer. Big Bang explosion. That's called the clogging effect. Look it up with my practical rhetoric and practical mathematics. Yes. And we'll be doing that for eternity. Every 10 billion years, creating a new Big Bang pair. Going westward. That's why the colonizers went to America. That's why the white people are still here in North America. Because it means that we have to make Big Bang pairs going westward. Because Jesus Christ was supposed to represent the Big Bang pairs originally from 18 billion years ago. Signality for the size of the AL particles, that 10 to the negative 18 meters cubed, which made our original life, a quintillion of them in the human body. 18 billion years from the time of the Big Bang was when Jesus of Nazareth was chosen for the SMP, Standard Millennium Process 1. And that's how you get it done. NoNeedz, son.